together for track feedback. So what are we doing? We're going to listen to some music. We're going to play some tracks. We're going to talk about three things: sound design, song structure, and the mix. Whoa, live streaming isn't available right now. Is this stream running? What are you giving me? I see a whole bunch of people in the chat. Give a like on the YouTube video, guys. Yeah. Is this going? Yeah, what's going on? I see 6 people, but my monitor screen is not up, and that's giving me stress. So here's what we're going to start with. Let me play some. Oh, man. Working. All right. I mean, if you can see me and you can see the screen, you can see live. I guess I don't get the monitor, but I get the chat. So we got a bunch of grown out of minimal remixes from Sheppers and Mindbender. I thought I'd start out with those and then go to DJ Waters and then get into the house and techno. And I put Todd Mr. Melvis at the end with the jazz stuff. I'm not going to say it's a set, but it's some kind of organized thing. Let me just start playing this Lofafora remix from Sheppers and see if I can get some monitor happening for me. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Play anyway. Oh my God. Problem playing with this file. Guess we're not playing that one. Go to plan B, Sheppers Spirit Molecule. All right, I got it up. I can see your comments. We're good. Let's listen to Sheppers. 13 minutes. We're going to fast forward a little bit through this one. Nice pulse, right? Nice and deep. Okay, I am gonna skip through these because we got a bunch of tracks to get to. So we got the vibe, got the pulse. Okay, some percussion's coming in. Let's go forward a little bit more. My audio not switching.
Have you requested a feature?
And the break. Kind of sizzling, like. So Nick, these are from stems from Pivclit, the Grown Out of Minimal album. It's in up above on the top of the Discord. If you're not caught up on that, super deep ambient minimal zone music. Let's see what we get at the drop. Okay. Yeah, the vocal was a little low and the kick drum has a nice deep pulse. The tone of the kick drum feels like it might have that kind of like moaf kind of thing. I might make the kick drum a little bit louder, cut the tail a little bit short so it's really like tightly fused with the sub. Let's skip forward a little bit. Shepherd's got the distortion, yeah. Yeah, distortion does take up the mid-range and make you feel like there's a lot going on. Vocals need to be louder to get on top of that distorted stuff. So the sound quality and texture is super cool and unique. Definitely matches the Shepherd's style, and I could see this as like a down-tempo mix on a Shepherd's EP or something like that. If you wanted to be a little more faithful to the original, what you would do is get the vocals up louder and get the kick drum and sub bass a little bit more tightly together. The kick drum felt kind of like a big pillow, like poof, and it could be a little harder and tighter because the sub is still real big, and you don't want to have two of those things making puffy bass. Cool. Nick Lavely, good to see you in here. And that has a nice long 2-minute burn at the end. I love these long mixes. I've been playing these and getting down on the floor and stretching my body. All right, here comes the Mindbender Master. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go on to another window and download the other one so we can play that too. So this is 17 minutes. Dang! Siren from Steve. This is sounding great. I'm getting a little bit of processor glitch from maybe doing too many things at once. Urgh. Maybe I should not do that.
Why are you messing with things? We know about reality. Don't ruin the fancy.
That's how the vocals should be sitting. Wow, that high frequency stuff is really up there. So Martin, first master of the original version starts at 8 minutes. Does that mean this is a remix first and then the original after the first 8 minutes? Squiggly. Yeah, these are definitely all about sound design. Okay, I'm gonna skip forward because I know this is deep music to sit into and relax and really flow, but for a track feedback, it's kind of a little long to analyze in detail. Morton, the mix sounds good on my side.
Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality?
Get into the break. Nice wash of sound there. Okay, this is the original version that you just mastered, yeah? Oh, I see. This isn't a remix. We're just looking at the master. Yeah, 8 minutes. I hear the kick drum coming in. I was just pulling that up on Spectrum. I like how the sub bass has a nice throbbing floor that's steady, and the kick drum still comes through like a really natural, separate sound in its own space. So you get like, doop, boop, boop.
Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality?
Hey, Oliver. Yeah, Morton, this sounds really good. The high end is like nicely proportioned to the lows. It's kind of crisp, has that like nice highs. Mid-range has all your synth world happening in there, and the lows are feeling good. Okay, let's jump out a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, get ready. All right, let's just look at that on Spectrum. I want to hear how the crash morphs into that high frequency whine. So we're looking up at the right end of the spectrum on the crash. I love it when one sound morphs into another. The crash goes into this whine that's like a metallic scraping or something. And it actually looks like the crash is a lot higher frequency than the other mid-synth. So this is a master from the stems that are on Discord, which are available for other people to download, grab, and make a remix. Cool, man. That sounds really good. That sounds good. That sounds good. Nice slow fade from Steve. Didn't drop you off a cliff. Oh, speaking of slow fades. So we got a little bit of DJ Waters coming at you, who's putting together some sets and some sounds. And I figured I'd go through both of these kind of quick, see what we got. And get ready. Okay, so the snare is lovely. I agree. Morton needed some dynamic EQ to tame that crash. Now that's a question I wish I asked you in our interview. Speaking of interviews, I got a slot today. I'm in the mood to record an interview after track feedback today in about 2 hours from right now. I got a list of questions I can send you that are basically about where you come from, what do you do, why do you do it that way, and where are you going. Really simple format. So if anybody here is down with the interview right now in 2 hours, let me know, because people like watching them. I like doing them. It's kind of just a conversation to have some fun and talk about music. And I want to stack up our interview background so people can get to know each other and pick up some secret tips. All right, Laughing Swallowtail, EQ flat. Let's see what we got. I almost thought that was a SoundCloud ad. All right, a little foreshadowing of what is to come. Piano sounds a little bit like plasticky. If you wanted to make it a little more realistic, you could do a couple things, but it is what it is in this track, so it's kind of okay. That came totally right to left.
Shall we?
Right there at 60 hertz. Oh, cool. Okay. 2 comments. All right, I'm gonna stop here. First comment, I like the way it dropped in. First we had the kick, and then a second sound came in louder and got wider. Let's review that. That was a cool mix layer. So here's the buzz right here. And then it got wider. But oh shit. No, dude. Off. The thing is about the micro timing on this one sound. There's a sound that's like and it's not lined up. I want to identify the sound exactly, and then we'll see what it would sound like on top of the groove really locked in. Okay, so right at 115, we're going doof, 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 ba-bam, bam, bam, ba-bam, bam, bam, with that like distorted middle sound. That one really needs to line up right on the beats because when it's out, it feels like the train wreck beat clash kind of thing. So watch, I guess in your arrangement, maybe zoom in and really get the waveforms on the grid, on the click, on the beat, on the groove. Let's keep going. All right, everybody's gonna recognize this music. This is fun. A little bit of a sound clash, a little bit of overlapping world, as we have come to expect. Ooh, here we have folk music with a sort of a fast beat. Dun, da, 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 da.
3, 2,
Shall we?
Oh, vocal glitch on top. Look at that. Yeah. Violin layer could be a little louder here. Let's get out to the end. All right, cool. Main thing is get that rhythmic sample lined up and maybe pull the volume of the violin up a little bit. Otherwise, that seems cool. And a lot going on below 60 hertz. I'm not sure if you're talking about Ian or about the previous remix, but okay, yeah. So let's get on to the next DJ Waters track and just jam through and give some feedback, because usually the improvements are simple fixes that are easy to hear because it goes so fast. About the piano thing, if you do something like change the velocity of the notes and then set up a connection between note velocity and filter so that harder notes are brighter, and when you play softer, it sounds duller, more like a real pianist, that can make the piano sound so much more realistic and easy to listen to, and not like a preset of like MIDI notes into piano player into sound. I know I'm talking on top of it, sorry. That's what I got in my head right now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's amazing how little electronic music there is in triple meter time. It's like nobody does triple beat music, but you totally could. That glitch sound was good volume, so I think I'm gonna leave the master right here and see what happens. Whoa, pew.
We've got to get a doctor.
Doctor?
I like that. Ah, this came in more like calm, right? All right, man, the sounds in this one I really like a lot. That like crystal echoey kind of sound. Tempo shift.
Yes, doctor.
I feel like we've been through 3 songs already.
The doctor said I had something wrong with my brain and I had to see a specialist.
That vocal sounds great. That perfect. It's like wide too. Look at that nice frequency line with the little spikes coming up. want to just pause and talk about arrangement. This whole style is very much like slam, take a break, slam, take a break. But the first section, even when you're doing that kind of a really hardcore, like in-your-face style, you can still let the melody or theme elements kind of follow a pattern. Like in this first section right here, the opening element was really cool. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is like a deep kind of spacey track that's not as hectic. And then we got another melodic idea and another one. Let's just review what those are and see what. So right here, it's like deep and spacey, like almost like a meditative compared to your other music. And now we're into like a totally different idea. So the first one should keep going on top and have this middle line stay in there. Like that was too soon to drop out that crystally echo sound. And then this lead is like, it's like too soon for this one. So maybe take a little longer with your melodic ideas and let people like stay inside it and have the layers merge together. Because when you chop between two different ideas in the same section, it kind of decreases the enjoyment of the first sound. Like the sound actually is so cool, I wanted to hear it more. That's what I'm saying. Well, let's go to the middle after this other break and drop. So again, kick drum, spacey, crystal kind of sound. Now this is a good place for this whole like lead theme and beat by itself, like a nice hard section of this. Another thing that's thrown me off a little bit, I think it'll make it a lot better, is to give us a clap. Like when you have the clap coming in, and then it stops and that sounds like an interrupting kind of a thing. And because that clap is there in the mix in a nice balance with the other beats, I do want it to drop into a place where it's like, and just give us the clap on the 2 and the 4 like a standard kind of drum beat would be. Because I'm sort of expecting it, and I would like to settle in and have that just like a super hard section of beats that you can kind of sink into and kind of like, I don't know, zone out a little bit. You know what I mean? There, it almost is, but then it's like gone. And then like right here, the clap is gone. Oh, there's back again. Okay, now we're into the ending break.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
Great vocals. Good mix. I can hear all the sounds. I can hear all the layers. If you could somehow just not change layers so often and give us sections to like rest in that section for 16 bars or something. Oh. Okay.
This will be a weekend to remember for the rest of your life.
Thank you for coming, Doctor.
That's all right. Good night.
Good night.
Great vocals, great story. I totally like it. So you're telling me the claps don't go on the 2 and 4 in Frenchcore? It's offbeat? Yeah, I guess you know what you're talking about, so that's okay. I just say my opinion to how I feel, because I don't mind hectic sounds and fast changes and hard beats and all that, but sometimes I just want to have the beat kick in and then just like let me stay in it a little bit, you know, to get like my wash of beats. I want to point out how cool this opening sound design was.
We've got to get a doctor.
Pew. That.
Doctor?
Let's look at that on the spectrum. What was that?
We've got to get a doctor.
Doctor?
Pew. This is so well done. The opening, if you tweak the piano a little bit to get some of that variation in there, like sonically, then the mix is really cool. The little like laser beam sound, the vocal, and the way the beat comes in, and then the synth on top. This is really nicely mixed. Like that part. Even though it's fast, it has like a soft texture to it, so I feel like, oh, cool, I'm in the groove. You appreciate the comments as we rip your music apart limb from limb. Okay, so yeah, you know what you're doing. Keep going. Bring us back another mix on Saturday, and let's move on before I spent all day talking about Frenchcore. Oops, guess what? I did a DJ Waters tribute track.
Hey guys, it's me and James here. Today, we're at a family gathering. We're taking, oh, sorry, there's a lot of wind and rain right now. We're taking pictures and doing interviews. So we're gonna let y'all see what our family's like and the pictures that we took, and we're gonna let y'all see the set around it.
What's gonna happen? Turn up my master a little bit.
Hey guys, it's me and James here. Today, we're at a family
I don't know if my bass is heavy enough. So that's a sample of some Discord sounds or online beeps that Ian put up, and I was like, I'm gonna throw a beat on that and slam some layers and make a tiny little buzz track. And the hyper sped up top loops. That's all it's gonna be.
Hey guys, it's me and James here. Today, we're at a family gathering. We're taking...
And that was from when we gave our GoPros to a couple of teenagers at the summer camp. Yay, fast beats. Time for OSP. Sorte version 2, this is a great track. By the way, that last one I made in less than half an hour right before the video today. Man, talk about a nice round kick drum. This just feels like, ooh, like bouncy. Want to get my left-right mix perfect. I really like the opening groove. Totally tells you how to mix this. And it's right on the line between tribal house and like tech, that tech stab sound. Wow. I'm gonna bring up the high end a little bit with the EQ. I think these hi-hats could be a little brighter. That's flat. There's a little lift, and that's like just going to like 2 o'clock on the EQ show. Okay. And coming up on the break. Fill up the space with a delay. That's like the definition of a mid-range vocal, going from like 250 up to 2000. Totally in the groove, nice and deep. Morton, are you hearing loops clashing right here? Like with the high EQ? What are you hearing? I love that. That's like the classic OSP vibe. Don't. see you guys making comments about the clap and the two loops clashing. I'm not feeling a problem. Like, I reacted to wanting more high end on the one, but the rhythm of it is okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling the groove like pretty stable. I don't know. Oh, 2 percussion loops with the same frequencies in the low mids. That's really specific. Okay, let's just go back and check that from the beginning. Are we hearing, the question is, are we hearing 2 percussion loops with the same frequencies in the low mids? So specific. So there's like, down, 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 down. Is it like down there? That's between 300 and 600 or something? And here we are back to flat EQ. If anybody's curious, if you don't know that trick, what I just did with a 3-band EQ, I cut the high shelf, cut the low shelf, did a sweep in the mid-range to make the low mids louder and really dial in on what we're hearing in the low mids with the opening drum loops and answer the question, are the 2 loops clashing in the low mids? I still don't think so too badly. It doesn't feel like fighting against each other, but frequency-wise, maybe they could be mixed a little bit in different space. All right, so more instant, yeah, like EQ some of that out in one of the loops and the percussion will sound more clear and tighter. Todd Mavis, and I don't dance. Yeah, how did Morton pick that up? Because he's got the ears bender. Let's skip through a little bit. For me, the groove is like nice and bubbling. That's the vibe of this one. So 135 to 240. Let's look at that one more time. We're looking at the spectrum on this beat. It's got a bump at 75. And around 300, there's a little like, kind of like conga slap kind of thing. So yeah, when you're working with drum loops, definitely from under 500, from like 100 to 500, there's a lot of stuff in there that might be really amazing depending on the tone of the drum, or it might be really crap. Like a kick drum at 500 is not good, but a conga might have a super ring, like a resonant ponk, that could be awesome. So that's why EQing is so interesting, because like one instrument, the frequencies might be awesome, and then the same exact frequency in a different instrument sounds like garbage. Oh, Shepherds, yeah, you're here. We played you first. Now we got Shepherds addicted to downtempo. Oliver, this track is amazing, man. It's got a really awesome, like you could take this as totally a solid tribal house track. If you took out that bonk, it would be like a totally solid tribal house track. But when you add that, you add the ponk stab thing and then the ride cymbal on the downbeats over here. That ride cymbal and that synth bonk take it just over the line towards techno. It's such a nice blend of styles. I really like how it feels like organic and earthy, and also has like a kind of a hard pulling you forward energy. Where is that? That. It's more from like the real electronic world, not so much from like the house world. So I think this track is super cool. Let's see how do we get out of it. That's a lot of nice low in the loop. Hey, Paul Robinson, how you doing? Oh, cranking up the feedback on the delay. Dirty little delay. Yes, I listen all the way to the very end. I can't stop. Great track, man. That is like 99% done. And oh, Shepherd's Rough version 2. Did we listen to this on Saturday? I think we did. Give me a chat. Let me know. And until I get the answer on that. So we got Mark Troy. We got 2 coming in. A 747 and a 729. Let's see what we got. EQ flat. Okay, I'm cranking up the master. I'm not sure if it's going to drop a bunch louder, but I wanted it. I'm digging this bass line. There's a little subtle reverb on it. Hey, Matt Schultz. Oh man, this is super cool. Got the back and forth vibe. Nice spacey vocal. Is that a new little hi-hat coming in on top? Oh man, those background sounds too. This is really cool. Oh, we got mix 7. Okay, I see. That's why it sounds so good. Like, how am I gonna comment on this? I don't know what to say. Okay, you know I hate to pause tracks, but what I'm doing with the Spectrum right now is identifying where the vocal pops up, putting the mouse on the vocal as it pops up, and look at, it's amazing how wide the frequency range of a female voice is, or could be a male voice, but in this case, I think it's going from 300 up to 3,000. I want to play that little section again. I'm just going to track the vocal where it pops up on Spectrum, look at the little box and read the frequencies. And the reason we're doing this is when it comes time to EQ a vocal and get it in place with your mix, you got to understand the vocal could take like the whole mid-range from what we call the low mids all the way up to where almost the cymbals come in. And being able to pull out which range of that vocal is the important one to fit in with the other instruments is really the art of mixing vocals. It's not about having the whole thing up loud. It's about which parts you cut out to push up and exaggerate to fit around with the other instruments. Let's just check this out again. The first one comes in so clearly. 327, 325. Down to the 250s. And there's harmonics up to 3,000. The human voice is an amazing instrument. Dynamically, it's got a huge range, and tonally. All right, so Martin's looking for a little more transient on the kick, a little more snap, a little maybe high frequency on there. Maxime, main vocal clean track and 3 backing vocal tracks treated differently. It's working. The way the vocal is mixed with that lead instrument is so nice right there. What is this instrument called? Okay, let me just go back and point out how cool it is when the sound of one instrument fades into the sound of a vocal right in the same frequency range. Right there, that vocal and lead are so closely together, it becomes one thing. So violin VST, no shit. Sounds like a harmonic minor scale. That drum fill too, let's just stop and point out. Really nicely placed drum fill. Boom, boom, boom. Kind of understated, but super effective. Now we're back to this like Giorgio Moroder bass line. I want to put on like a leather vest. Like a brown leather vest and be like super tan. I'm not making fun of it. This is awesome music. Oh, this one. What was that? Very cool sound. Yeah, solid. Let's get forward a little bit. Okay, so right here, are we looking for some more on that kick drum? What do you think? I mean, maybe some compression or something to just pull out the front transient of the kick a little bit, but I don't hear it as a problem. That's like a tiny detail. Total groove. All right, so if you got pip click coming in on this for mastering, that could be a final mastering decision. It is a therapeutic groove. Check this out. I can't turn it off. That's an all-around quality track. Emotional, nicely mixed, goes on a definite journey, and it kind of takes you to another space. I got to point out that little sound going LFO modulating pitch inside some little thing. Great sounds, nice mix. Possible debate about the kick drum micro dynamic tone. I mean, maybe, but overall the track works. And especially, we looked at the frequency of the voice that went all the way down to 250 up to 3,000 with pitch. And then, of course, above 3,000, the voice has all the all those parts of breathing, mouth noises, the whisper, the air, the mechanicals kind of on the front of your mouth that make it really realistic. That so really, when you're working with a human voice, it's pretty much almost the whole entire frequency range. Interesting that our ears are tuned to hear that frequency range. Maybe that's why it fills it up. And we got another one for the B side. I'll try to not spend all day on this. Yeah, master it, release it, give us a button to press buy now and give you money. And the B side. So I'm going to take a guess that this one is basically from the same time period and the same rough mix strategy, probably. And we're asking, like, is this gonna fit as the B side of the other one? Oh, those sounds. Yeah, man. Oh, let me pull down my master level. Sorry if that's flipping. Guys got me turning up my mix all loud. Where are you getting these vocals, by the way? Deep and spacey. I really like it. Yeah, that low end, you can see the main kick and then the two little bass line notes are popping up right there. Looks like the notes are D and C. Percussion coming in. I really love the combination of a synth drone with a plucked string. It's like an organic acoustic instrument on top of an electronic synthetic instrument. Maybe that's not a plucked string, maybe it's a synth too. I don't know. Vocals from Loop Cloud, all right, all right. Let's jump forward a little bit. There we go. Yeah, man. You guys are producing like truly global music. The OSP track, this one, the Grown Out of Minimal. This stuff is like literally people all around the world are listening to this kind of music. It's so cool. I guess the French chord too, but that's a little younger than my club age group. I don't know, DJ Waters, what's the average age of your audience? I mean, is it actually teenagers or is it mid-range people? I mean, middle age range? To me, it seems like hyper, you know? I don't know if I can handle 12 hours of that anymore. Side topic. Okay, we got a filter opening up. Cut the bass during a transition. Another good technique. Subtle drop. All right, so we kind of brought it to a moment where there was like a pause and the bass line came in and then the beat again. Let's just review that again. Filter opened up, swelled the sound bigger. We had the vocal with some effects on there. Right here. So the vocal comes to the end of a phrase and holds a long sustaining note. So we're like waiting, right? It's like, oh, the voice fades out. It almost comes to a moment of silence, then bass line, then beat. What I'm doing is analyzing the actual structure of a transition to answer the question, how do we make tracks that feel like this and completely and totally steal every idea that Maxime is using? Okay, anticipation. Tells you what's happening. And that was like the underdrop. It was like a bass beat with a bling, with no big crash, no big drum fill, no big hyper thing, just like, right? Ah, shit. Sorry, I want to just see this on the spectrum. Super subtle, but takes you really deep. Huh, dusty bass. That's a cool word for bass. January, look for this one on Nomadism Records in January. Absolutely, man. What's this guitar thing coming from? Is that you? Look at the interlocking rhythms too. There's a synth going dun, dun, dun. Then the guitar is like twice as fast. Dun, 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 dun. So you get this like syncopated rhythm going on with it. And we're still totally in the groove at 6 minutes. All right, so Matt Schultz is looking for a little more top end on that guitar to brighten it up. That's when you tell the guitarist you got to change your strings. And we're cruising down to the ending outro. All right, really cool. Brought it to an ending. Now we're definitely in the mix out. And I just want to point out one other thing I'm noticing. A really great way to mix kick drum and sub bass is don't have them on the same note. So if you look at the rhythm of the kick and the sub, the kick is going boom, boom, and the bass line is bump, 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 boom, boom, bump, boom, bump, bump. So the actual programming of the bass line notes is coming in between the kick. You could even have them sidechain each other. You could do that and have, it's like one sound, other sound. They share the low end because they're not happening at the same exact instant. Watch the little notes pop up. And that gives you bass lines on the upbeat, which makes your body go like this. Super cool. Yeah, really good work. Only problem is like there's this weird guy talking the whole time we're trying to listen. Look at that ending. Bling. What is that? Wait. I missed it. That is a great track. Both of those two. That's going to be that sounds done, man. The release, it sounds like it's release ready as far as arrangement ideas, song flow, sounds, the mix. Now we're down to basically mastering to get it up to the level you want and work out how the two tracks sound with the low end mixed to match everything else on Nomadism so that when people buy records from that label, they get the sound that fits in the DJ set they want to play. So if you're talking about publishing, how to get your tracks ready for release or what to do, you should really think about the place you're sending it and what the audience is ready for and what is like in the world of sound from that record label or that style or genre, and use that for your reference tracks when you're mixing. Grab some audio from that you buy, like pro tracks that you buy, bring them into an Ableton set and just compare your own stereo mix with mastered versions and ask a couple questions like, does my track basically feel like it hangs together with all the other sounds from that label or in that genre? And you can do a couple tricks like take the pro versions, lower them like 6 dB or something, and take your master, put a limiter on it or a compressor and do a rough master on your own. So you're listening at equivalent volume levels. Use your meters to read that because you don't want to listen to a pro track and be like, my track's not loud enough, because it's not going to be loud enough. It shouldn't be loud enough when you're making your production session. But while you're comparing stuff to see if you're going to fit in the right world of sound, it's okay to put on a compressor limiter, jack up the volume of a test mix, lower the volume of the pro tracks, and use that to compare basic things like how big is the low end, what's happening in the mid-range, how many sounds are in the mid-range, how sharp is the high end, not in terms of pitch, but in frequency, like and do some comparative listening. Most of the people watching right at this minute probably know that already, but for anybody else who doesn't know that, hear the word, get the reference mix, check out some Donats. Wait, who's on with us right now? Is Adam here? Who else is here that has a track up? Because if you're here, I want to play what you got. Haha House. Okay, James, Simon. Oh, Nick is here, right? We got a bunch of OSP and Todd Mavis. I wanted to compare the two versions for Mr. Melvis. So I think Nick Lavely is with us. Let me drag this over and get these two little. Can I get two tabs at once? Watch Steve learn how to use the browser. A, B. All right, so Nick Lavely. Let's see what we got. This feels like we're going to hit an ad. No, SoundCloud, no. What is is happening. Refresh. Do. Paul Robinson, at the last minute, you put up a track, okay? It is a SoundCloud ad. It's a nothing. I guess I closed Discord because I was getting some glitches. One of the reasons I really, really want people to post tracks before we start is that it lets the whole stream run smoother for everybody else. But since we're hitting a total... Maybe mine better. What is house track? I don't really know what's happening with this right now. Okay, so Todd Mavis. I made a couple comments about the trumpet lead being like a really intense performance piece on top of a pretty chill jazz track. And we're in version A. I want to skip out. Find that. Okay, like around here. So you got that in your ear. Let's go and jump to the middle of the next version and see what we got. I think I'm getting totally screwed here on my SoundCloud playback. It's not playing the ad or the Y ads. Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, it's the 1 o'clock dead spot in the broadcast. Okay, let's listen through this while I go find Paul Robinson's track, which is... let's go. I hear what you did with taking the trumpet down an octave. I was thinking of actual people playing this and like having someone blow on a solo that would kind of fit with the energy level of the whole other group of people. I'm not sure if that's what you're trying to create, but that's how I heard it. Paul Robinson, which channel did you put your track in, if you could tell me? Chill zone. Is that up? Version 2 sounds way better. It feels better. I want to go back to this drum fill. That one tom hit was a little loud in the drum kit. But overall, the drums are feeling realistic. I'm not feeling like it's a whole bunch of loopy, repetitive stuff. Bassline is in a nice place. Where are these horns coming from? Are these Native Instruments Session Horns Pro? Yeah, it's really realistic. What you want to do is probably get a plate reverb on there. it's a little dead, a little dry on the brass. I would put that into a plate reverb with a pretty long tail, but a low volume level on the reverb, so it's spacious and subtle. And the high end on the cymbals could come up a little bit, so maybe take the toms. I don't know if you want to compress the kit a little bit and use a little high shelf EQ or something. I like the drum sounds and the programming and everything. It's working, man. Yeah. It's really listenable. Like, this is just cool music. I would not be opposed to a electronic mix of this too, just saying. Yeah, Nick, I'm gonna refresh your link. And total Sunday morning music. And I think with that trumpet fix that you did from version 1 to version 2, this is pretty much done. Maybe some slight tweaks on the drums, a little bit of high shelf on the cymbals, and a little reverb on the brass. And we are good to go. Nice work on that. I know you're putting in mix time on a daily basis, so we'll probably get an update for Saturday. Nick Lavalley, play. Yo, what's going on with you? It's the massive buildup of anticipation. I just don't know what's going to happen. Life is mysterious. We'll try again later. Shepherd's Rough V2. We're not playing that one because we did that one. Doink. So, Danettes, put down. Honestly, I do not understand why that's not playing. Oh my gosh. Adam Hatfield bounce. I like where this is going already. I wanted that kick drum to come in louder, heavier, like just more of it. Maybe that's not in yet. Got a filter opening up on that sample. I see a ton of sub stuff happening down to the 30s. That might be why the kick is not feeling big enough. Okay, this idea is so good. That rhythmic loop, bounce, 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 is super cool. There is too much sub bass happening in something that's going on early, and the kick drum is not coming in like doof. Let's just look at the opening sample. Looks like there's a sub bass part. All that big sub mountain. And it looks like we have a kick with a peak around the 50 hertz kind of thing. So that kick has to be a bunch louder to keep that sub bass under control. And I hear some snare taps that need to come up a little bit louder. Amazing groove though. Bounce, 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 bounce. It's such a nice cycle. Down, 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 down. Do, 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 do. This track gets its hooks into you. Put some sounds into the delay when you need to transition, cut the drums. Yeah, those drum fills need to be a bunch louder. Those are like the 80s Rototom. That's cool. That was a good cymbal wash. Nice reverb stuff happening. All those little drum fills up. Got the bouncy Dinat style. Feels like a spacey kind of mix right here. I'm gonna pull up the tops. So there I'm cranking up the highs and the mids a bunch. So this is, I don't mean to be harsh. This is what I'm gonna describe as an unbalanced mix. What I just did was I went and turned up all 3 EQ bands, and each one of them sounded better when it was louder. Now, clearly, you can't go to a song and just turn everything up louder than everything else. You know that joke, it doesn't work. So the question is, how do you take the sounds that need to be louder, pull them out front in the mix, so it feels cracking, feels balanced, you get all the sounds you want, and you don't get overlap or conflict with the sounds you don't want. The first thing we looked at was the sub-bass samples from the very opening were too much energy in the low end without feeling loud. And then when the kick drum came in, the kick felt quiet because it was getting competition from the sub. So what you would do right then is lower the energy level on the subs, or that sub sample, lower the volume level in the mix, possibly double it an octave higher so you can feel that pitch coming through rhythmically and as a note without filling up 30 hertz in the mix. Then you can turn your kick drum up a little bit louder, sidechain the kick in the sub, so you have that kick coming through like a bottom pulse. It's not a big mush of sub. That's first thing. High end, the snare drum beats, the drum rolls, the cymbals and stuff, that like the kind of the snap and the bite on the drums can come forward. And then the mid-range synth group is actually cool. That's got this rhythmic like dun, 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 dun. So for the mid-range stuff, what I would just do is take all the instruments in a group, EQ and compress them as a block. I don't know if it's 4 samples or 6 or whatever. Just do some gentle compression, EQ them so they feel like a group, and then turn the whole group up a little bit with the kind of compression with a fast release so that each sound that bumps up is like getting a little bit of a hit, and then the dynamics are coming back up, which will effectively raise the level of the quieter parts. Kind of upwards compression into a ceiling, but with a fast release on it, so it's not like feeling squashed to death. Those are a couple things I might do on this mix to get it to be more like out front, if that makes sense. Yeah. And it's so funky and hypnotic, like down, 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 down. I just want to refer to the opening part. Yeah. Bow, 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 no, no. This part is so cool. Down, bow, 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 bow. And then at the end we get to, it's not the same thing, but it's still super cool. Ba, 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 ba. Down, 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 down. I like the use of delay a lot, especially with such a sample-y rhythmic thing. There's a lot to bounce, so when it goes into a delay, it keeps bouncing. Keep bouncing, bouncing. Oh, wait. What was that little bass line thing at the end? There's a little quiet inner line of a bass going down, boom, 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 boom. I would jack that up like 20 dB. What's going on? That's exactly the bass sound that can help the sub feel big without using a huge sub, right? At the very beginning, the sub. Where is that? Right here. Doop, boop, boop, boop. So if we want that low sub, boop, 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 boop. I can't even sing it, it's too deep. This little one at the end. Do you hear that little inner one? That's exactly what you do when you have too much sub drowning out your kick drum. Double it an octave higher or even 2 octaves higher with a little mid-range kind of boxy sound. That's exactly where you want to boost up like 400 hertz or 300, some nasty boxy thing, and layer it in with your sub so that when we hear that boxy thing, we feel the rhythm of the sub and we know what note is playing, but we're not having a massive mountain underneath 50 hertz of going whoop, whoop, whoop. That's sucking the life out of your kick drum. Yay, Steve is smart. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm just saying you should try it and see if it works. Disclaimer, all my advice might be really wrong. No, I'm kidding. Nick Lavely, play. Come on. This is a mystery. Y'all, I don't know what to do because I want to play this track. And I closed Discord. Nick, could you do me a favor and send me a private message with that link on Facebook? Maybe if I get a fresh link, it'll work. And let's go to Paul Robinson. I like that synth a lot. All right, so far so good. You got 3 synth layers that are all working together pretty well. Again, the kick drum could be louder, could come in with a louder kick. Not a fatal error here, but good bass line. Almost feels like a breakbeat on top, but not quite. I'm hearing some reverb on the kick. I don't think the kick needs reverb in this track. There's a nice reverb on the rest of the drums, but try not to put the kick drum into the same reverb as the rest of the drums because it doesn't need it. And less reverb brings a sound closer to the front, which is what you want on the kick drum. You really want it like here, like. All right, good open hi-hat, keep it moving. Oh, and it drops down nice and deep here in that bass line and kick drum kind of groove. I feel like we could use a lead instrument or some new event in the track right now. It's in a nice deep section, but there's space on top for something else to happen, or like a lead line, like meow, meow. Oh, here it comes. Oh, that's cool. That sound is growing out of somewhere. Looks like I'm not GQ at 8K. now we're in the build-up. Okay, that could be a little more dramatic with the shift into the drop again. That could use one little riser sound or reverse cymbal crash or something to just really throw it over the top with a high frequency coming into the drop. Mainly this track needs a kick drum up a little bit louder. And like many of the mixes we heard today, the sub bass line and the kick drum are sort of fighting against each other. They need to be in a mixed space together. I want to go back to the beginning, but the first thing I noticed about this was we had 3 sounds come in and they all took up their own space in the mix. Then the sub and the kick got into a little bit of a thing, but yeah, good update. So let's just hear the opening 3 sounds again and look at them on Spectrum. That was cool. So there's our mids. Once in a while, that one comes in just down to like 110. So there's 3 sounds where there's like a mid-range one up here, down to like 200. There's that little bass sound from 100 to 200, and then the sub. Like 3 stacked synths, each taking up a tiny little frequency range, working together. Yeah, really good potential in this one. The synths are really bouncy and like dum bum bum dum bum bum dum bum bum. Has that same kind of like Donat's had that bouncy loop that keeps you going. Let me see what I could do on the low end here. We hit a break. If I cut a little bit right there. Okay, that doesn't totally solve the problem, but what I was trying to do is cut out some of the thubby part of the thub, 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 and get the attack on the kick really more in front, like the click on it, like kick, 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 so that we get the driving rhythm. And then that bouncy bass line, dum, bum, 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 dum, bum, bum. Really, in general, a lot of people, you don't need as much sub as you think. Like on a big system, when the kick drum is like poof, 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 the sub can just be coming underneath it. You're gonna feel it, it's gonna be there, it's gonna fill up space. The sub bass usually should not be equivalent to the kick drum in terms of power level in the mix. Usually the sub is going to be a bunch lower, and you'll be surprised how well that fills up the low end on a big system and comes through. And if you're on small speakers, you're not going to hear it anyway, so that's where you get into the other stuff of doubling it a higher octave, like literally doubling the MIDI track, making another synth, shifting the notes up, and making another version of it or something. So, cool. Yeah, Morton, gotcha. Some depth in the kick. Yep. Yeah, so kick drum notes and everything. So Paul, good revision, good mix. I'm glad we got to listen to that. The Lavely Mystery. Did he come in with a... 3 minutes. Go. Come on, everybody, chant. Go. Well, I guess we're going to do this then. This track is determined to play me a SoundCloud ad? While we are studying the mysteries of SoundCloud, for anybody who's still watching, other than the crew who's always watching, what we're doing is playing track feedback from songs in the Mixitecture Discord server, which is where you can share mixes, get feedback, and do updates with specific critical help on sound design, song structure, and mixing. And the place to sign up is here on the Mixitecture members site. Let me get a fresh tab that looks not like my admin account, but like your user account. Doink. This is a free member site, by the way, where The point of it is that all the courses and lessons have a teaser module where you can come in, look at what the lesson is, what you learn, what problem it solves, and how it's going to help you for your whole entire production life before you buy anything. So it's not like, oh, do I have to buy something and I don't know if I like it, or what if I buy this plugin and I don't like it, or whatever. There's none of that. It's all gone. There's that whole problem is gone because you can look at teaser modules, preview the courses. Sometimes you can even start the course for free with a short version of lesson 1 and really find out, is this going to help me? Am I going to learn what I want? Is it worth the money? I'll tell you it is, but I want you to make sure you know what you're getting. This is kind of a Black Friday pitch because there are discounts on all these different sound design lessons and mix lessons. And then here's the one for the Track Feedback Crew. And I'm going to actually recommend don't sign up for the Track Feedback Crew today because during the Black Friday sale, anything else that you buy, you're going to get a free entrance subscription into the Track Feedback Crew because I expect you to take the lesson, use it, make some music, make a mix, share the mix with us in Discord, and get some help to bring your track up to release ready level like what we're doing today. So basically all these lessons most of them are hands-on session lessons where you learn by doing it. And there are special discounts you can get when you go through and explore the teaser modules. You'll get automatic little messages about here's how you unlock your coupon code or whatever. And they're all on sale for Black Friday, and they're all going to help you expand your ideas, unlock your creativity, make new sounds, and learn new techniques. And these are not like a sound pack where you just get some sounds. And it's not like a plugin where you just get something to tweak. You actually get a hands-on, in-depth tutorial built inside Live where you learn a technique that you can use for life. You might learn something about sound design with LFOs and filters and envelopes, or something about mixing with compression and EQ, and how do your EQ cut and boost moves affect your gain staging in your mix. They're lifetime production lessons that come through an instrument or a sound, but it's stuff you can apply forever and ever in whatever you're doing. That's really going to help you be a better producer. So that's all available on the Mixitecture member site, courses.mixitecture.com. And like I said, everybody who signs up for anything in the next 2 weeks gets a free subscription into the Track Feedback Crew. Limited time subscription, don't worry, And I want you to come in and share your tracks and show us your progress with it. So, Nick Lavallee, your track is going to play. It's not going to play. We're screwed. Sorry, everybody. No hope. Why ads? I'm in the account for SoundCloud where I do pay for monthly access. I don't know, man. I'll give you some notes in Discord on this one. I'm sorry it's not working. I don't understand that. And it's about 1:30, so I guess it's time to wrap it up. Let's finish off with Oliver. I think I'm going to leave these for next time because we played some of yours already. Let's go with James Simon for our Techahedron. Right off, that sounded like some Korg M1 organ, right? All right, Paul Robinson, thanks for hanging out. Glad we got your track in. Todd Bavis, go eat. Nick, yeah, I'll try on Saturday. I don't know what's happening with that. Shepherds, goodbye. Today is kick drum day. We're having a lot of tracks with big sub bass, and the kick drum doesn't drop in full power like we want it to. The most simple answer to this is take your whole mix, bring it down, and turn your kick drum up. That would solve the problem at a rough level. The next level of answering is work with your sub bass frequencies and your kick drum frequencies to share the sub range so they're not fighting in the same exact kind of tonal area. And then level 3, I would say, is sidechain compression. Nice. Ooh, nice. And sidechain compression is using the kick drum to actually duck the volume of the sub when they hit together. Those are my 3 basic low-end strategies to quickly get stuff happening. I like how this came in back here. There was a little dive bomb. Let's see that again. Pushing this up a little bit. Okay, that just came in so much fuller in the stereo field. That organ sound is really nice. I think there's a little too much reverb on the ping. I see that popping up at 2.5K. That actually sounds like a sample that has reverb in the sample. So I would volume fade that sample down take that down a little bit in the mix. It's a little bit too bright, and the hi-hat and clap to come up a little bit. So I'm gonna duck that part down a little bit. Take the highs up. Oh, good. Now this new percussion layer came in nice and bright. I like that. Here we're back to EQ flat. This is a really chill vibe. Like slow moving. All right, we got a kick drum conversation. Yeah. I like the basic idea of this one. There's a bass line, the chords in the middle, the beats, the kick drum. It's all holding together. The mid-range is nice and full and wide. Percussion layers, dive bomb. Percussion layers need a round of mixing to just get each sound kind of like within the same range. And again, like I was saying with the mid-range synth group before, I would take all the percussion, make sure that's in a stereo group together, all the drums in one stereo group, and then do a little bit of compression and EQ to get them really holding together as like a block of percussion, so that no matter what part of the song you go to, the sounds are going to be kind of like equal rhythmic percussion level. Nice, nice, nice. I like the breaks here too. What was that? Doot doot, that little rhythmic thing. That was super cool. The simplest transitions work the best. A little thing that fits with the vibe of the track. Doot doot. That was good. Oh, and it's 1:30. I was thinking of after some Todd Mavis, you're saying the wood block feels a little off key? I mean, maybe you could pitch the sample down a little bit. For me, I noticed the volume of it was louder. For me, the problem was it was just too loud, not that it was off pitch. But you could be right. I hear it maybe sharp. Maybe if you detune that sample a couple cents, not like a whole step, but like minus 15 cents or something. Maybe. I like the flow. So the arrangement and the song structure are really cool. A couple mixed notes to get the kick drum up a little bit, manage the percussion into the same overall world, and I think this one's gonna be good. I like the vibe of it too. So at the beginning of today, I asked about if anybody is available for an interview right now. Send me a message if you are interested. I don't want to put people on the spot, but I'm looking for more interview subjects. You don't have to be rich and famous. You don't even have to be talented. You just have to be interesting and talk about where you came from, why you're doing music, what you love about music, what do you struggle with, especially like, I mean, I remember when I was working in restaurants and trying to stay awake to make beats after a shift and stuff, and everybody has a story that's worth talking about, especially people in this group. So let me know if you're down for an interview, and I will schedule you in. I think if we could do one a week, that would be cool. Let's go back through that ending. What was that? Yeah, right here you can really see the kick drum needs to be louder. And the dive bomb bass sound goes up into a delay. That's why you want to EQ the low end out of your delay. So when you want to put a super bass frequency into the delay, you get the echo of the mid-range part without the whoa, 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 whoa building up and wiping out your whole mix. One more time. Refresh on poor Nick Lavallee's been waiting an hour and a half and got nothing. Son of a mother. I'm not going to bang my head against SoundCloud anymore. We'll get your track either on Saturday or on some notes on Discord. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Matt Schultz, the lead sound could be louder, maybe with compression and a little high shelf EQ. For James Sargent on the last one. Yeah, that was a cool track coming from Dimutech. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. It is the end of Track Feedback on Wednesday. And if you're still watching, there is a Black Friday sale happening on all of the Mixitecture hands-on session lessons and courses where you learn by doing it inside revolutionary Ableton projects with the lesson built inside the project. It's a totally new kind of tutorial, not like watching a video. It's an interactive tutorial where you open an Ableton project. You download a live pack, double-click and open the Ableton project, and you go through audio instructions that tell you what's going on. There are examples with automation that shows you what to do inside the project, and then spots where you can do activities, grab the controls on an EQ or compressor or macro knobs or whatever, and play with the sounds and actually learn by doing it. You make the same sounds that you hear in the examples. So you learn with your ears and your muscle memory and the activity of doing it, which is how people learn. You learn best by doing it, not by watching a video sitting there wondering if you're going to remember later. Hands-on learning is the best kind of learning, and that's what you get inside all these hands-on session lessons where you can work on your sound design, your mixing, and make some original music. That's what it's all about. So get in touch if you need some, if you have any questions or you need some help on that. Angel's trumpet is amazing. We'll play this to take it out for today. Oh, super cool. Yeah, really cool laid back track. Needs some mixing love on the last ones. Yep, and I'll see you all on Saturday. Thanks so much for watching Track Feedback. Thanks for hanging out with each other and giving each other comments and being supportive and encouraging this. I get so much motivation from this group. Can't even put it into words. And that's